In this video, I will talk about the logical operators and the function. Let's create some function which takes some time, the large function. Okay, so the example can be, for example, boolean. So is contain which searches for the element for the number in the array. So, so like this. Mm. It will be simply like search for straightforward by checking each number. So if I is equal, then we have find. If we have not find it till the end, then it will be false. Okay, so let's create some boolean. Yes. Let's create the array. So firstly, and let's create the boolean. So it will check two things. Firstly, so let's say n. Yes. It will just int n, and then it will check for two things. If n is not greater than only if n is not greater than 10, it will just search for this n. So let's say the so two things. So n is not yeah, if n is not greater than 10, and if x contains the n. Okay, so n and x. Here we have 5 elements and n. So here, okay, let's just show this one. Here, if first like expression is false, then it's not the. It doesn't make sense to check this is contained function. So for this one, C++ will not do this part of the code. So it will not just how to say, it will not run this function, it will not call this function. Let's check, let's check. So you can just check doing like this. So is being started. So C++, C++ compiler, not only C++, Java, Python, and so on. So any languages, any like modern languages, will not check for all expression. It will be ignored when this one is like false. because you know that AND operator will return false if one of them uh, is false. It will return result true only if both of these sides are true. Okay, let's check. For example, 11. So this line was not like executed because the is contained function was not was not called. For example, if I call it with 9, then its contain will be invoked. It's not only about the Boolean functions. For example, we can create same function like this, same function, for example, to find out the index of the number. It will return I here. But if you don't have the index, if you don't have the variable, then it should return -1. Okay, let's see it. So number like this. 5. It contains started. We need to change this one. Into 5. We started, and then 11. So it will not start. So it's about also about the OR operator. So in this case, it's like clear that from the first, if first one is true, then it's clear that it doesn't make sense to check the second, because it will be true in both cases if this one is true and if this one is false in any cases. So let's see, for example, 9 not true. If we call it with 11, it will return false, and this one will be invoked. So what it gives us, so for example, in this case it's recommended to use like this. It's recommended to not use like this, because it will result the same thing, but in this case index of number will be invoked, will be called in any case, if it's true, if it's false. But in this case you can just reduce the resource usage. So you can reduce the resource consumption, and it will be more optimal to your program. And it's useful when you, if you just set this kind of booleans, so like in the while loop, in the for loop, so each time it will just call this kind of function, it will just do till the return statement. So it can take some time, but if you just run it with this kind of the code, so you should just firstly set the expression which takes less time, which uses less resources. So in this case, you will not your program will be more optimal than the next case. And also we can do it like this. For example, we can do it like this. For example, if our x the size is, for example, 5 here, and if you want to get access to the nth element, so for example, and only in this case, if you want to get access to this element only in case of the in case when n is less than 5, then you can write it like this. For example, x n is what is any Boolean expression like here will be worked. So in this case, if I will just take 7, it will not check for the 7th element. It will just it will not check. It will just ignore this expression. If we don't write like this, we can get error. Okay. C++. So C Lion takes us, but in many languages like C, and in C++ in some C++ compilers, except this C Lion, it will take some error. So, for example, in Java, you can take the error array out of count, but writing like this, you can avoid this kind of exceptions.